Hi, everybody. There's an important hour, maybe 2 hours before any important meeting that you're going to be involved with, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's in person. Um, get to the facility, take a look at what's going on, what kind of preparations are happening. Sit in the seats, sit in the back row, sit in the front row, sit in the middle. Nobody's there, of course. But what you're doing is you're imagining what your audience is doing uh, prior to. You're imagining what the audience is coming with. You're imagining what it will be like to sit in that space as an audience member. And in doing so, it's going to relax you, and it's also going to give you an understanding of space. And if things need to be moved, that's the time to move the tables or move the chairs. That's the time to make it a little bit warmer. Sometimes, those chairs, when we go into these hotels, are stacked up one after another. I like to make it a little bit of a herringbone so that it's got a little curve to it. It's not real close together. People like their space. I pull the chairs apart. There's a couple of places when I'll kind of maybe just make a little bit more of a half moon circle over on that corner. I might square things off a little bit on this corner so that when people come in visually, they're seeing kind of a different setup than what they have normally seen before. It's not rigid. I'm not stuck next to this person. You're the only one who can do this, by the way. Don't wait for the setup crew to do it. Just start doing it. They'll be around and they'll say, "Oh, hi, what you doing?" I said, "I'm the presenter. I'm just making things a little more comfortable." And they'll say, "Oh, okay, can we help you?" Any of that sort of stuff. Uh, what you're doing is you're creating an atmosphere so that the very first thing people do when they look around is, "Oh, this is a little different. I kind of like this. There's some space here." Uh, you're also relaxing yourself. It's really inadvisable in any situation, even when you and I are in an organization and we see people all the time. It's not advisable to show up 5 minutes before or 2 minutes before. On Zoom, it's likely you're going to show up a few minutes before. Sometimes you'll show up 20 minutes before with your producer. I'd like to suggest that you think about having a Zoom meeting with yourself prior to all that so that you get a chance to see how you look. You get a chance to feel comfortable in front of the camera. You can even record the session, the 10 or 15 minutes, and then play it back for yourself and see how you look today. Maybe you want to change that sweater. Maybe you want to take a look at your background a little bit differently. What it's doing is it's relaxing you and it's getting you into relationship with the audience that will be forthcoming. So they used to tell us show up 2 hours before when we were in person. I try to do that, especially if there's other speakers before me. I show up even earlier than they do, and I listen to them. Because remember, the audience will have had all that. It's not a good idea to be the fourth speaker and to show up only at that fourth slot. 3 other people have spoken before you, and you want to know what they said, and you want to also know what the audience felt. So when you're listening to that, it's not a bad idea to sit in the far right front row, far left front row, and you can kind of turn around and look and see how the audience is responding to the presentations that are going on. Yeah, it takes some of your time, but I think it's well worth time because you are the one that's not only setting the mood, you're understanding the mood. See you next time.